Thank you, and thank you so much for having me and for organizing this wonderful Freedom Week. It's an unexpected honor to be able to close this session. As you know, my father is Jimmy Lai, and my father's story can be well understood by what Nelson Mandela once said. Difficulties break some men, but make others. Escaping from communist China, he arrived in Hong Kong as a child stowaway. He had nothing in his pockets, but as he tells it, this was one of the best days of his life, because in Hong Kong he knew that he had a future. He fell in love with the freedoms of the city, a freedom so foreign to where he just came from, yet so intuitive to any person. He spent his days toiling in factories and nights learning English on the very factory floors. In less than 2 decades, he became a factory owner himself, eventually founding the clothing brand Giordano, which grew to be one of the largest and most popular brands in Asia. In the wake of the Tiananmen Square massacre, with the world in mourning, he decided to dedicate the next few decades of his life to defend and further the freedoms that he fell in love with all those years ago. To do so, he founded a newspaper and a magazine. Thus, Apple Daily was born with the belief that freedom is choice and that information is choice and choice is freedom. The inaugural editorial on June 20th, 1995, of Apple Daily, 2 years before the UK handed the city back to China, read, "Are we not afraid of changes after 1997? We are afraid, but we refuse to be intimidated by fear." And so my father and his reporters did their jobs, to inform the people of Hong Kong despite threats, despite intimidations. Until 2020, when through the passage of the National Security Law, the law was weaponized to target all critics. Many people told my father to leave, but doing so, he knew that he would be both abandoning his principles, but more importantly, abandoning his colleagues along with other pro-democracy activists. In staying, he hoped that he could act as a lightning rod to the persecution that was to come. He was arrested at the end of 2020. I sometimes think to myself what life my father could have had. I wonder at the life that he could have chosen over a dark, solitary cell in Hong Kong. Looking out at all of you, I imagine that he could have been in the crowd, somewhere smiling, or on his way to pick up his grandchildren from school. I feel sad, but when I remember what he said all those years ago, when he was asked about his decision to stand up for democracy and freedom, he said, "If I leave, I live my life comfortably, but if I'm in prison, I live my life meaningfully." For my father, it was never about lifestyle. It was always about principles. Principles that we commemorate and further through events such as this Freedom Week. The principles underpinning the right and dignity of humankind. 5 years of solitary confinement has gone by since my father has been in prison. 5 years in a maximum security cell. 5 years of the Hong Kong government attempting to both break his spirit and his reputation. 5 years too long. Although he is in ill health, my father is still fighting. Strong in his Catholic faith. During his national security law trial, my father said, during a heated exchange with 3 government-appointed judges, "The truth will come out in the kingdom of God, and that is good enough for me." But that cannot be good enough for us. Every day he sits in jail, we stand witness to the truth that Hong Kong chose to lock up a person that embodies the value that believe in the very best in all of us. My father must be freed. I hope that all of you here join our effort. All those years ago, freedom lit his way, so may we who still enjoy our freedom bring him home. Thank you.